Tuesday.
I was assaulted in the high school that I was teaching in.
A shocking investigation. Are New York's high school students out of order?
Some schools are really totally out of control.
Channel 2 News goes undercover to expose the blackboard jungle of the 90s.
Students carry weapons.
And show you what today's teachers are up against.
Teachers are having to take on the role of security guards.
Is your kid's education being destroyed by classroom chaos?
Anything can escalate into a tragedy.
Tuesday at 11 on Channel 2 News.
Next at 11, lured by a stranger at his school, a child is abducted and raped. And gunfire rings out in a quiet neighborhood, leaving 2 dead.
Also, shame on you to a towing company that's been jacking up prices on customers and fighting the distress of PMS, how millions of women can ease their suffering. All coming up next.
I'm Ernie Anastas. Coming up next on Channel 2 News, bizarre new twists in the tragic tale of a little boy murdered and dumped in a Brooklyn trash compactor. Then a special Shame on You investigation. Find out which area tow truck operation may have taken you for a ride.
We have it all on tape. Get it out. We have it all on tape.
Plus, we'll tell you about a new book that says Mick Jagger's list of sexual partners reads like a who's who of men and women. Those stories and more coming up on Channel 2 News.
Ladies, did you ever feel like someone took nice, sweet, unemotional you and replaced her with a mean, angry, bloated from hell? Then watch a special report on PMS tonight at 11.
Thanks for making CBS America's Most Watched Network. I'm Ernie Anastas. Coming up next, a special report no woman should miss. If you're one of the millions of people who suffers from PMS, we'll let you in on a little secret that could help you chase those blues away. Join us for a special report that may change your life and your families as well. Coming up next on Channel 2 News.
Is your kid's education being destroyed by classroom chaos? Tuesday.
This is Channel 2 News at 11.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, a horrifying example of what can happen when a young child is lured away by a stranger.
Yes, a 10-year-old New Jersey boy was convinced to go off with a man who claimed to know the boy's mother. Police say the boy was then tied up and raped. Channel 2's Pat Battle is in Jersey City now with more on that story for us. Pat?
Well, Ernie, that little boy is here at the Jersey City Medical Center tonight. Hospital officials are not releasing any information about his condition. He was brought here about 6 o'clock tonight, fully conscious, but surely traumatized by a horrifying and sickening ordeal at the hands of a stranger. The boy reportedly abducted, sexually assaulted, and tied to a fence post in a residential neighborhood. We talked to one of the women who found him there about 5:45 this evening.
He was tied to the pole with his, it looked like a belt, all around his wrist to the bottom of the pole, and he had a wire, something wire on his feet and around his neck, but my mother had removed the one around his neck and left the one on. He had no shoes on, had white socks on, his feet were black, and he looked like a frightened little animal. It was horrifying, really.
But he also had his pants were pulled down below his rear end, and he still had his underwear up.
The boy told Hope Johnson and her mother that he was leaving PS 34 here on Kennedy Boulevard after school when a man in a 4-door red sedan drove up, called him by name, and told the boy that his mother told him to pick him up and take him home. Instead, he took him to this alleyway on Armstrong Avenue, tied him to this fence post with wire around his neck, wrists, and ankles, and allegedly sexually assaulted him. Police are looking for a black man about 6 feet tall, between 40 and 50 years old, with a missing top front tooth. He has curly hair with a gray patch in the top and is wearing glasses. The boy told police the man was wearing black pants with a hole in the right knee and a blue shirt.
What was around his neck would have gotten tighter and it would have hurt him, so I guess maybe that's why he didn't yell. He was too frightened.
Now, in addition to that description, police have issued a partial license plate number on the suspect's car. That number is XMSS or XM55. That's all the boy was able to tell them. That car, again, is a red or burgundy four-door sedan with a gray interior. If you have any information, you can contact police at the following number. That number is area code 201-915-1234. Again, that's 201-915-1234. If you have any information, surely police want to hear from you tonight. I'm Pat Battle, live in Jersey City. Let's go back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Pat. In other news, for a while today, it looked as though he would turn himself in. But tonight, the prime suspect in the murder of a little boy whose body was stuffed down a trash compactor is still at large. Channel 2's Carol IOVANNA is live in Brooklyn with the latest for us. Carol?
Well, Michelle, police here at the 75th Precinct in Brooklyn would still like to hear from Stephen Poole. He is the alleged husband of the guardian of little Kaysean Blackledge. Reportedly, as you said, there was a report that he was going to turn himself in to detectives along with his attorney, but so far that hasn't happened. It has been 4 days since the battered body of little Kaysean Blackledge was found in a trash heap at a housing project in East New York. The little boy's natural mother, who has other children now, according to her neighbors, was trying to regain custody of little Kaysean from the guardian. The guardian, Kaysean Blackledge's uncle, a transsexual now living as a woman, remains at Jersey City Medical Center. She is recovering from stab wounds there. Dana Blackledge told police of a stabbing at the hands of Stephen Poole. The two were allegedly married a few months ago. The police are now seeking Poole, as we said, in connection with the death of little Kaysean Blackledge, because they say that Dana Blackledge told them after the stabbing the boy remained with Poole, and because the boy's body was found right near where Poole works as a sanitation enforcement agent in Brooklyn. Once again, the police would like to hear from Stephen Poole. So far, that hasn't happened. I'm Carol IOVANNA reporting live from the 75th Precinct in Brooklyn, and now back to the studio.
Thank you, Carol. And tonight, police say that they have got the man who stabbed the so-called subway hero. College student Chris Fedorov was nearly killed when he came to the aid of Dawn Quealy and her son in a Manhattan subway station on May the 12th. Well, tonight, police say that witnesses to that attack have identified Ellis Zayas as the man who tried to rob Quealy and who stabbed Fedorov. Zayas is also charged in 3 other robberies tonight.
A Park Avenue gynecologist is accused of selling his own semen from an illegal sperm bank and refusing to tell patients the results of an AIDS test. State health officials say Dr. Douglas Moss ran an illegal sperm bank, selling his sperm to Mount Sinai Hospital, but saying it came from other donors. State officials say in addition to facing disciplinary action, the doctor may also face criminal charges.
And also in the normally quiet suburb of Teaneck, New Jersey tonight, a wild shooting has left 2 people dead, 3 others wounded. Channel 2's Tony Guida is live for us at the scene with the latest on that story. Tony.
Ernie, this is Somerset Road in Teaneck, and this is a frightened neighborhood tonight. A wild shootout among about a dozen Asian men spilled out onto these streets where children saw it. This just does not happen around here. Neighbors say this house on Somerset Road was rented within the past month by Asians. They also say that some Asian men in a van arrived about 7 p.m., went inside and started shooting. That led to men running through these streets and shots being fired and general mayhem.
We heard gunshots. We saw this guy on the corner over there who was like on the, I thought he was getting sundown, but he had clothes on, and he was like, gets up like slightly, and he's like bleeding from his chest. And he goes, help me, help me.
This is a fabulous neighborhood. I mean, there are young children. I mean, we're out all the time. This is an Orthodox neighborhood, actually. And I'm really quite shocked. I mean, Asian gangs, I mean, this is Orthodox Jews. I've never seen any Asian people around here.
Police tell us 2 men are dead, and those 2 dead are still in the house. 3 were shot and are in the hospital. They have 7 Asian men in custody, all in their 20s. They were captured after a high-speed chase at the toll booths to the lower level of the George Washington Bridge. Reportedly, during that chase, they threw masks and Uzi submachine guns out the windows of their van. Word is this was about drugs, but that's not official. What is official is what one resident told me. This neighborhood sounded tonight like the 4th of July. Live from Teaneck, Tony Guida. Back to the studio.
Okay, Tony. Tonight, a group of 61 illegal aliens from China has been rescued in Jersey City. Now, they were found locked in a garage. All were men, and all have been taken into custody for questioning. Police say the ring that brought them to the United States was demanding up to $30,000 a head and that some of the men apparently worked for the ring, making sure that no one tried to escape. The aliens were discovered after the phone company got suspicious when $3,000 in phone calls were made to China.
The crooks who literally reserve seats for their own arrest. Details next. Plus, a towing company gets hauled into our Hall of Shame for jacking up prices on customers.
And later on, when hormones go wild, Dr. Peter Salgo has help fighting PMS distress. And Rolling Stone's Mick Jagger's alleged affairs with men revealed in a steamy new book. Plus, Storm with a steamy forecast.
I had nothing to do with Mick. All right, well, we've got some strange weather for tomorrow and then much nicer weather for the end of the week. But I'll have all the details when we come back.
Channel 2 News, sponsored by Mitsubishi Diamante.